liberation of spirits is seen in the spirit world. The reason people have so much internal and external struggles is because there are many evil spirits inside our bodies. As the Great Mother explains from the spirit world, for thousands of years Satan has put evil spirits inside our bodies, and worked. In this article you will understand how these evil spirits can be liberated from your body. Franchezzo gives example of how spirit is being released from the dark astral envelop, holding it imprisoned in the physical realm. I saw 4 majestic spirits from the higher spheres making magnetic passes over his prostrate form. From the dark disfigured body arose a mist-like vapor which grew more and more dense till it took shape in the form of the spirit himself, the purified soul of that poor spirit released from its dark envelope, and I saw those 4 angelic spirits lift the still unconscious risen soul in their arms as one would bear a child, and then they all floated away from me up, till they vanished from my sight. WSL page 59. Magnetic power liberates. Magnetism takes part in hundreds of functions in the human's body. Dr. Bradley Nelson explains that magnets can release any sickness from our body. But did you know that spirits also get helped and liberated in a strong magnetic field? Spiritual forms turning into astral physical germs. Liberated when passing into a strong magnetic field. Franchezzo talks of spiritual forms turning into astral physical germs and how they are liberated when passing into a strong magnetic field. The divine principle explains that spirits can be liberated only in a body. Our physical actions produce some leftover energy, Franchezzo explains. Trapped in it, spirits suffer and only a very high spirit world or strong magnetic field can liberate them. Here are some quotes from his book, explaining the process. Strong magnetic powers, set to help an unfortunate young man who was utterly unable to move, and who used to lie moaning and sighing all the time, suffering such agonies from the reaction upon the spirit of those powers he had abused. My task was to make soothing passes over him, by which means he would obtain a little relief, till at stated times a more advanced spirit than myself would come. WSL page 17. This is clear explanation of energy healing performed in the spirit world. And the reason of their suffering is the material envelope in which the spirit is trapped. The soothing magnetic passes are to remove this envelope, thus freeing his spirit from this material pain. In the Kitong Healing Center are held session for liberation of our bodies from the invading yet resentful spirits. Thousands come daily at this beautiful lake in Korea and experience amazing healing and spiritual revival. Liberating the spirits, we ourselves become liberated. For in the lower spheres the spirit is conscious of bodily sufferings. As it grows more advanced, the less material envelope of the higher spirits, making them at last insensible to anything like material pain. WSL page 17. One of the greatest plasma scientists today developed a magneto-gravitational pen that effectively heals many sicknesses. In such strong field, people experience their original nature being open. As Kesh explains, no one else determines where you go in the spirit world. The position of the soul in the spirit world is determined by the gravitational magnetic field, the strength of which is created by the soul during its time of existence on earth. Kesh Franchezzo is told the same thing in the spirit world. Each will return to their own circle and sphere, drawn back by the strong magnetic attraction which hold each sphere. The spirit will be drawn to others of a like disposition who are in the same stage of moral advancement as himself, where his moral development entitles him to occupy. WSL page 97. Same like the divine principle, Kesh explains that the difference in the spiritual level between people can be measured with the light they emit. Is it small like a candle light, or strong, like a light reaching to millions? The less the spirit is giving, the smaller his light, the less he can see and orient himself. Or as Franchezzo says, glowing with the celestial fires of purity and truth. In fact, today science can measure the vibrations of the field generated from our hearts. See, resonance of heart. If one has a high resonance of heart, he can heal others. But what of the opposite? Can you place a person in a high resonance field and heal him? Kesh discovered that by placing the person within a strong electromagnetic field, the person not only heals from illnesses, but his original good nature will become free. Suddenly people will feel more love, compassion, and be unable to do evil. Thus, he and many other energy healers and spiritual healers are recreating the liberation process happening at Kitong Tong. This earthly phenomena reflect what's happening in the spirit world. Whatever happens in the central spiritual providence automatically has effect in all peripheral areas of restoration. Liberation starts coming from all directions now. Franchezzo talks of waves of magnetic ether influencing his feelings. This revulsion of feeling in myself caused the waves of magnetic ether on which the music and these images were born to us. WSL page 75. Trapped spirits in the physical ether. Here is how the spirit gets stuck in this material envelope. What many poor spirits did go back to earth in search of the means to satisfy them through the material bodies of those yet on earth. WSLP.17 They get stuck because they cannot control their low desires. The desire for those pleasures grew and grew till I could scarce refrain from returning to the earth plane there to enjoy, through the organism of those yet in the flesh, whose sordid lives and low desires place them on a level with the spirits of the earth plane. WSLP.17 Once they do that, their spiritual state deteriorates. Many would yield to the temptation and go back for a time to haunt the earth, whence they would return after a longer or shorter period, exhausted and degraded even below their former state. All were free to go or to stay as they desired. WSLP.17 As Kesh puts it, in doing wrong, you use a lot of energy of your field and your strength to cover it up, so you have less to give. So you are positioned as a soul in a position with less energy, which means you become a burden for other souls, who now need to elevate you to reach their level. And Franchezzo shows how our evil desires work as strong magnetic attraction for low spirits. Spirits of so black the hue, so awful the type, that never before had I seen. These beings cannot live upon the earth plane nor even in the lower spheres surrounding it, unless there be congenial mortals for some strong magnetic attraction to hold them there for a time, and though they often rise in response to an intensely evil desire upon the part of either the mortal or spirit on the earth plane, yet they cannot remain long, and the moment the attracting force becomes weakened, like a rope that breaks, they lose their hold and sink down again to their own dark abodes. WSLP.23 The slow spirits will influence the earth events provoking divisions and revolts as FC. Revolts of downtrodden people will take place, and the maddened populace are for a time completely under the control of those spirits who are truly as devils. WSLP.24 Not only that, but our own evil thoughts create energetic forms that will hunt us. A mist seemed to gather round and enfold me in its chill embrace, while phantom forms of awful shape and giant size drew near and yet more near. Oh, horror! They were my own past misdeeds, my own evil thoughts and desires, which had been prompted by this very man beside me and which nestling in my heart had formed those links between us that held me to him now. WSLP.78 Chongpyong Liberation Training Center helps you liberate your ancestors and your bodies from the attacks of the resentful spirits. Thousands are visiting each day. It will give you the highest heavenly experience of peace and love.